Hey, I'm Eloise with today's news. It's been 1 year since the murder of George Floyd, whose death sparked global outrage. Police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted last month of the murder and faces up to 40 years in prison, with sentencing next month. Meantime, his defence team have requested a new trial. India has now seen more than 27 million reported coronavirus cases and more than 310,000 deaths. The US has advised citizens not to travel to Japan, blaming the growing risk of COVID-19, just 2 months before the Olympics are due to open. The Centres for Disease Control and Prevention and the State Department both issued alerts but stopped short of a ban. Tokyo remains under a state of emergency until at least May 31st. In Victoria, there are 6 new cases of coronavirus overnight, with 15 connected to the recent outbreak. Acting Premier James Merlino says the good thing is that the cases are linked, but they are very concerned about the number of cases along with the kind of exposure sites. Mr Merlino says the next 24 hours are critical if the government is going to make any further restrictions, and they can't rule out taking more action. The MCG is one exposure site on the list after a positive case attended the Collingwood-Port Adelaide match. Bars in South Yarra and Prahran are listed as some other exposure sites of concern. There's also positive cases that visited sites in Clifton Hill, Coburg, Epping, the CBD and Port Melbourne. The full list of Tier 1 and Tier 2 exposure sites is on the government website. 3 of the new cases are linked to a workplace in Port Melbourne, which is understood to be a large office. All staff have been contacted and told to test and isolate. Hairfolk in Bendigo is also on the list of Tier 1 exposure sites, along with a venue in Axedale. Victoria's restrictions currently mean masks must be worn indoors, household gatherings are limited to 5, and public gatherings limited to 30. See you next time with more from The Informer.